Good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Manasvi Madhumohan, a third-year law student here at Symbiosis Law School, Pune, and I will be your host for this afternoon. Firstly, I extend a warm welcome to our respected director, ma'am, Dr. Professor Shashikala Gurpur, who has been our guiding force in support for all our events at SLS. I would also like to extend a hearty welcome to our esteemed dignitary, Honorable Justice R.C. Chavan, former Judge, High Court of Bombay, for being a part of this function today. Furthermore, I would also like to extend a cordial welcome to our esteemed faculty members and students for being here today. On behalf of Symbiosis Law School, Pune, it gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all of you to this significant event of the book discussion and interaction with Honorable Justice R.C. Chavan on his recently authored book titled, Yes, My Lord, It's You in the Mirror. We are gathered here today to explore the depths of this outstanding literary masterpiece, which offers insightful perspectives on the complex realm of law. We consider it an honor to have such a renowned author among us, whose extensive knowledge of the law and comprehension of the legal system have helped to shape our judicial landscape. Today's event is a celebration of knowledge, a platform for exchange, and an opportunity to engage in meaningful discussion. We hope this book discussion will inspire us to think critically, question prevailing notions, and explore the possibilities of a more just and equitable society. I'm grateful to all of you for taking the time to be here today, and I look forward to a lively and informative discussion. I welcome you all once again to the event. Before we proceed, I kindly request the dignitaries for the auspicious lighting of the lamp ceremony, symbolizing the beginning of this function and the pursuit of knowledge. It is now my honor to introduce our distinguished director, ma'am, Dr. Professor Shashikala Gurpur, a highly accomplished individual with an impressive background and extensive experience in the field of law and academia. With a PhD in international law from Mysore University and an LLM from Mysore University, where she was a gold medalist, ma'am brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the field of law. Dr. Shashikala Gurpur is currently serving as the director of Symbiosis Law School, Pune, and the Dean Faculty of Law at SIU. She also holds the prestigious John Monet Share Professorship from 2021 to 2024 as a testament to her expertise in the field. She is also an esteemed Fulbright scholar and has been recognized for her outstanding contributions to the legal field, receiving the Karnataka government annual Kittur Rani Chinnamma Award in 2018 to 19. She's actively involved in various significant committees and organizations, including the Bar Council of India's Curriculum Development Committee, the Academic Council of the National Judicial Academy in Bhopal, and the IALS Global Law Deans Forum. She is also a member of the International Consortium of Law Schools and the MCCI Corporate Legislation Committee from 2020 to 2022. She's also actively involved in numerous research projects such as the Erasmus Project on 21st Street Skills and Climate Change Policy and Law. In recognition of her expertise, LexisNexis has listed her as one of the 100 legal luminaries of India. She has also served as a member of the Law Commission of India and possesses over 26 years of teaching experience at various esteemed institutions. Her scholarly contributions are extensive, with over 80 articles and research papers, 2 co-authored books, and 12 book chapters to her credit. She has also been an advisor to research projects and publications for organizations like the Asian Network of Women in Communication, sponsored by WACC UK. I now welcome ma'am to deliver the welcome address to our gathering here today.
Good afternoon, respected Justice R.C. Chavan sir, my esteemed colleagues, Dr. Atmaram and Dr. Mohanty on the dais, Dr. Bindu, Professor Vibhute, the senior professor, and Professor Sapna, Professor Arya, and all other esteemed colleagues, my dear students, and those who have joined us online. Probably Justice Roshan Dalvi must have made it by now, Justice Shalini Pansalkar Joshi, and our own SIU Registrar, Dr. Shajul sir, among others. A warm welcome to each and every one of you. Now, today's occasion is a very special occasion, second of its kind, because earlier we had a book discussion which was overshadowed by COVID, relegating all of us into an online discussion in the context of Dr. Shalini Pansalkar Joshi's work, which was on juvenile justice. After that, today's discussion is on the book written by Justice Chavan sir. One thing common between the two is both are judge scholar in residence as far as Symbiosis Law School is concerned, where the students are very lucky to learn from their experience and exposure. Now that time there was a book discussion. I think we planned it to be offline, but we had to relegate to online with Dr. Shalini ma'am. In between, we had Advocate Anil Malhotra's book being discussed also. So book discussion as such we organized for two reasons. A book is a window to the world, interior world of an author. I can talk a lot about it, how William Wordsworth, when he wrote this poem, Daffodil, I don't know how many of you have read that poem. It's not just a great literary piece, but it's also revealing the truth behind a poet's mind. He talks about how poetry is a spontaneous overflow of thoughts. He uses the sentence, I still remember in the verse, that they shine upon the inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, which means that probably in poetry, it's I sometimes dabble into poetry. So poetry is an experience of that ultimate joy, where you elevate to a state of mind where you experience the beauty as well as the truth in unison. So it requires that kind of a very deep contemplation. Art, every work of art is also the same. But when you write it into a prose form, somewhere your conscious world of experience interferes with the poet's world of beauty and joy, and they add the truth into it. Of course, poetry is also telling a lot of time agnostic truths. But when an author writes in this way, like how Justice Shalini wrote in the legal context, whereas Justice Chavan sir has engaged in this book, I sometimes wondered, looking at the title, is the book the mirror of his world, or is the book mirroring many judges who have passed by the judicial landscape of India, with whom he has had different encounters in terms of experiences and values, where they mythified or fictionalized in the book? Or is the book going to give a mirror to all of you, the progeny or the posterity, to see how the judiciary has experienced this? So we were discussing at the lunch about it. Is it in terms of catharsis that sir was writing this book, where he was giving out, venting out certain emotions and certain experiences so that they could become those kinds of footprints etched on the sands of time? Or was he being a kind of, in catharsis, it's a self-healing experience? Or was it a kind of memory, a kind of wealth which is handed down to the posterity so that they could be mindful of this and they could see the resonances in the real cases, whether it is judges seniority issue or transfer issue or many other hidden from the public eye, because judiciary has got utmost kind of independence, which is also underwritten by autonomy, and therefore sometimes not in the public glare, certain truths remain. So is it the flip side of that kind of judicial independence and judicial autonomy, or is it a kind of self-regulated highest sense of responsibility, which is expected in the text and what happens in the context kind of revelation? We wonder. So that is why this discussion is necessary, because this is, I was asking sir, are you ready for judge on trial? Because the book which is talking about justice on trial, I think, we court on trial or something, we were discussing about that. So I was telling him, get ready for the judge on trial. So is it he himself who is putting himself on trial, and by that some kind of a representative or symbolic representation of the time that has arrived now, with the kind of very liberal leadership we have at judiciary at the helm in the form of our current Chief Justice of India, who is so open, who has made courts so open to be scrutinized by public as much as experienced by public, not as an institution far drawn and pedestalized, but as part of the democratic system. So these questions linger as we come to this occasion. So I thought I'll welcome you to this occasion, all of you watching online and who are here directly, to this kind of an experience. Could we expect this kind of experience? Just to shed a light on that. As I welcome you, sir, for the new audience who might have joined there from the side of Justice Chavan and others, that Symbiosis as such was born with this kind of a very liberal approach to understanding the cause of justice or voice of justice, which was missing for international students in Pune, and evolved into a huge family of more than 45 institutes, including 8 faculties within the umbrella of universities and schools in many places within Maharashtra. Campuses spreading in all directions in India, starting from the west to the north, to the central India, and then to South India. And then the law school housed in the first faculty of law. And today we are having 8 other faculty, which includes the all-women's medical college, which is opened as recently as 2019 and got the recognition in 2020. So Symbiosis is moving from being a generous and collaborative association, a loose association of students, to becoming a huge family of one of the most reckoned and highly ranked international university, aside from being the home to our law school, which is always figuring among the top 10 consistently in last 20 plus years. So Symbiosis Law School Pune, being the first member of the family, today has got programs ranging from BA, LLB, BB, LLB honors, and LLM with 8 specializations, and PhD being pursued currently by about 100 plus students, and already 50 have been awarded PhD, and home to about 2,000 plus students. And overall, the Faculty of Law housing 6,000 plus students across 4 campuses in the country. So with that little introduction, I would also like to say these kinds of discussions and public lectures, etc., are the way for students to learn beyond the classroom and beyond the curriculum. So thereby their learning is extended and enriched. So I'm sure that, sir, with your life and experience etched in the book, and your views and the values, especially the values of friendship, values of ethical compliance, values of forgiveness, the love, the solidarity, the camaraderie which is there in profession, as Abhishek Mansinghi said, the guild that our profession is. So these values are something that students will definitely learn beyond the classroom by this discussion today, by this window to your personality or mirror to your personality as the author, and the world that has unfolded through this book, aside from their regular curriculum-based learning and teaching. I am sure that even faculty will have certain learning to take away from here, as much as the online viewers will glean from this experience. So welcome one and all, and I wish that all of us will have great learning and great, let us say, delight to be taken away from here as we engage in next almost 45 minutes to 60 hours of proceeding. Welcome one and all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insightful and inspiring welcome address that has set the stage for a thought-provoking book discussion. It's now my honor to introduce our esteemed chief guest and the author of the book, Yes, My Lord, It's You in the Mirror, a distinguished personality in the field of law, Honorable Justice R.C. Chavan, former judge of the Bombay High Court. Born on April 12, 1952, in Nagpur, to parents who were involved in the field of education, he has had quite an illustrious journey. Throughout his academic journey, from his BSc degree to LLB and LLM, he has consistently excelled, earning distinctions and consistently ranking at the top of his class. Embarking on his judicial career, he joined the judicial service as a civil judge, junior division, and judicial magistrate first class in March of 1976. Further, he served in various capacities across multiple districts, including Wasim in Akola district, Arvi in Varda district, Kelapur in Yavatmal district, and Jalgaon. Recognized for his dedication and expertise, he was promoted as a civil judge senior division and later as an additional district and sessions judge. From 1990 to 1994, he also held the position of joint director at the Judicial Officers Training Institute in Nagpur. He continued to excel in his judicial career, serving as a district and sessions judge in Nanded, Aurangabad, Daman and Diu, and Pune. His contributions extend beyond the courtroom as he actively participated in various associations, including serving as the president of the Maharashtra State Judges Association from 1997 to 2000. He also played a significant role in the first National Judicial Pay Commission and served as the working president of the All India Judges Association. With a keen interest in academia and other areas, he has participated in conferences and seminars on topics such as environmental law, environmental economics, AIDS, gender justice, and arbitration. His distinguished career led him to the position of additional registrar, and the first Registrar General of the Bombay High Court. On June 22, 2005, he was elevated as the judge of the Bombay High Court. In addition to his illustrious career, he was appointed as the president of the State Consumer Redressal Forum starting on September 19, 2013. He also served as the vice chairperson of the Committee of the Supreme Court of India from 2020 to 2023 of this year. Please join me in welcoming Honorable Justice R.C. Chavan, the chief guest, to address the gathering and share his valuable insights with us.
Thanks to Symbiosis, thanks to Dr. Gurpur. I had heard that she writes poetry, but I could see hear from a speech today that yes, she writes poetry in prose also. Thanks to the faculty of Symbiosis who has made this possible for me to have an exchange with you. The presence of Dr. Vibhute here is slightly intimidating, I would say, because he is a renowned professor with a keen sense of right or wrong and use of proper words, proper expression. So if I skip somewhere, Professor, you forgive me. Thanks to all of you who are present here to hear me speak about my book. Because of my inflexible back, I have to address you while sitting. Inflexible back is a problem, but an asset for judges, I suppose. Possibly many of you might have come here with the expectation of hearing about a book on law. Yeah, this is in a sense on law itself, because a major part of law is life. And that part is many times missed in the law colleges and even in the legal profession. They are more about interpretations, terminology, words, how to win battles, etc., forgetting what life is. Recently, our Pradnya or something like that landed on the dark side of the moon. Pragyan. We are used to seeing the bright side of the moon every day. And we admire moon for its beauty, for its gentleness, for its shine. That is what happens with judiciary. We see the side of moon which is seen by us, shown to us by the moon. My attempt is to show you the dark side of the moon, which never faces all of you. Chief Justice Chandrachud's attempts to inject transparency in the system and make everything available to public made me feel that it's time I should publish something which I started writing a long back, which I kept in, say, shelf for a long time. Because when I was drawn to the E-Committee of Supreme Court in 2020, the book was almost ready to be published. But I kept it on the back burner because of that assignment. Yes, the book is critical. The book is about the life of judges. Book is about relations of judges with each other, with the system. And it's necessary that lawyers or aspiring lawyers should know how judiciary actually works, not how it is seen to work. Seeming side of justice, we all know. But unseeming side of justice is what I have tried to project. It's not catharsis, neither catharsis, nor etching footsteps in the, maybe they are just footsteps in the sand, not on stone. But then some things have to be recorded somewhere. Some things have to become part of public knowledge. And that is why this book has come. I hope you like it. I have been writing judgments all along. So therefore, trying my hand at fiction was really difficult. But 3 friends helped me to fictionalize, anonymize the whole thing. And that is how, with efforts of so many persons, the book has come. Rather than my telling you about my book, because everybody loves one's baby, no? So what one writes, oh, it's wonderful book. So I won't say that. In fact, Eastern Law Book Company, Mr. Magik, Sumit Magik, and my own All India reporter, Chitales, they said, we won't touch this with the remote end of the pole. It's too dangerous for us to do this. So I decided to become my own publisher so that nobody comes in trouble because of what I wrote. And this is how the book is born, released on 10th of this month. Mercifully, my seniors, Justice Sirpurkar and Justice Narendra Chapalgaonkar, who also read the book before, of course, agreeing to join the release function, they found that yes, it was worth publishing, and therefore it saw the light of the day. So with this, I put myself on trial, ma'am, as you say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that enlightening address that has provided us with profound insights and reflections. Next, I would like to invite Sonal Jain, a 4th-year BA-LLB student at Symbiosis Law School, Pune, to share a short prelude to the book, giving us a glimpse of what lies ahead and sparking our curiosity to delve into its pages.
In the hallowed halls of justice, where truth and morality collide, where decisions shape lives, and where the mirror reflects the soul of the judiciary. The book, Yes, My Lord, It's You in the Mirror, by Honorable Justice R.C. Chavan, unveils a narrative that resonates with the echoes of right and wrong. This book delves into and highlights real-life stories and experiences of the judicial system through fictional characters. The book interestingly starts with a recipe, the inspiration of which came from cooking shows, in which the vast extent of materials drawn from sources over the decades has been presented in a structural manner. The book has been written in an anecdotal manner, which significantly increases the curiosity and interest of the reader. It has been divided into 62 chapters and touches upon several themes that can be witnessed in the practice of legal profession. As the title portrays, the book shows a mirror to the judges, legal professionals, and the judicial system itself. The prominent themes addressed in the book include instances pertaining to workplace harassment, particularly in a male dominated environment, the intricacies of transfer of judges, judicial conduct in furthering justice, witness integrity, and legal ethics, among others. In the initial chapters, we find ourselves amidst the summer heat
जरा आवाज मोठा होईल का बघ?
where the lives of four young men, Jay, Raju, Azad, and Narayan, converge at a bustling law college. Their journeys, initially driven by diverse motivations, unfold within the ordeals of academic rigor and youthful indiscretions. As the narrative weaves through these experiences, it offers a unique lens into the intricate world of legal education and the tumultuous bonds forged in the middle of these challenges. This collection of anecdotes provides a glimpse into the complexities and nuances of the legal world, highlighting various legal themes and ethical dilemmas. One recurring theme is the behavior of legal professionals, including judges and lawyers, and how their actions can shape the course of justice. For instance, there are cases of judges dealing with corrupt police officers, lawyers with questionable ethics, and witnesses turning hostile. These situations emphasize the importance of upholding the integrity of the legal system and the challenges that arise when individuals compromise it. Additionally, the anecdotes shed light on the issue of judicial conduct and ethics. They showcase how judges must navigate various moral and ethical dilemmas, such as accepting bribes, handling false documents, and ensuring impartiality in their decisions. It underscores the need for judges to uphold the principles of justice, fairness, and honesty. Furthermore, the stories touch upon the concept of the rule of law and how it applies in different situations. For instance, Chapter 4, titled Parting Ways, weaves together the themes of false criminal charges, legal ethics, and abuse of legal power, offering a compelling glimpse into the intricate world of the legal profession. Chapter 15, on the other hand, explores the theme and the significance of safeguarding witness credibility and the transformative potential of judicial influence. The theme of the transfer of judges is prominently illustrated in Chapter 22, involving Azad and Raju's judicial careers. Both instances shed light on the process, motivations, and implications of judge transfers within the Indian judiciary. While Azad's transfer was a consequence of his ethical misconduct, Raju's transfer signified a professional advancement. Further, the theme of harassment is a prevailing and distressing element evident through various instances in chapters 30 and 31. The narrative underscores the imperative need for legal protections and mechanisms to create a harassment-free workplace where individuals are treated with respect and dignity. Towards the end of the book, in the emotional aftermath of their dear friend Raju's sudden passing, the remaining trio of friends, Azad, Narayan, and Vijay, found themselves reflecting on the complexities of life and the impermanence of existence. Amidst their contemplations, Azad's heartfelt apology to Vijay for past misbehaviors resonated with a profound theme: the power of forgiveness and reconciliation. The concluding message of the book highlights that in legal proceedings and negotiations, the willingness to forgive and seek amicable resolutions can pave the way for justice and harmony, fostering a society where disputes are not only resolved through litigation, but also through compassion and understanding. I hope this prelude motivates all of us to read the book and experience a whole different world portrayed in the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonal, for that exciting prelude to the book. I'm sure the students would understand the book's appeal since this prelude piqued my curiosity about what lies ahead. Yes, My Lord, It's You in the Mirror by R.C. Chavan is an invaluable resource for law students. It offers unique insights into the Indian judicial system, presenting real life scenarios and intricacies of cases in a fictional format. It engages narrative prompts, critical thinking, and provides a behind the scenes look at courtroom dynamics. This book bridges the gap between theory and practice, helping law students develop a deeper understanding of the legal profession and the moral considerations involved. I'm now pleased to introduce Dr. Atmaram Shalke, Associate Professor at Symbiosis Law School, Pune, who will now commence the session with the writer, igniting a vibrant discussion about this captivating book.
Good afternoon, all. Respected Madam, Honorable Justice Sir, Monte Ma'am, Vibhuti Sir, and my privilege to be part of the conversation with none other than Justice Chavan Sir, who has written wonderful piece of literature known as Yes, Madam, It's You in the Mirror. Sir, without further delay, we'll start the conversation. The first outside question is about your inspiration of book. What this book, or what are your inspiration, or
This is a bit embarrassing question. All the same, I'll answer it. I had two juniors in the sense they were years younger than me. They came in the judiciary, got after me. Outstanding judges, voracious readers, and with a keen sense of justice, devoted to work. They suffered some injustice at the hands of the administration. They, along with some others, filed a petition, sought legal redress for their grievance. But then that angered the powers whose decisions were questioned. And they were unceremoniously picked up from their positions, thrown somewhere else. Both of them took voluntary retirement, premature retirement. Both who would have made excellent judges in the High Court took voluntary retirement. Of course, the union government ensured that they had a post-retirement term, and they completed that term. But one of those judges was so devastated that he started having heart ailment. And he died a premature death after completion of his term. It was that point which triggered me to write. Because otherwise, the things which happen in the western side corridor of High Court would never have come to the light. So therefore, and in fact, he died, and as per his wish, his body was donated. That is the beginning. And therefore, I kept the beginning like that, because what inspired me to write was the injustice meted out to the person, and who ultimately met with an untimely death. I suppose this answers your question.
yes, sir. Thank you. Follow-up question to this is related to your first chapter, sir. You just have mentioned about death of Raju and followed by apology of the Azad. What do you want to depict through this chapter, sir? Do you want to pass any message with respect to life or something like that?
Young persons are here. It's easy to say forget and forgive, or forgive and forget. It's easy to say that I'm sorry, and easy to say for the other person to say I have forgiven you. But as all of your young persons possibly on the verge of falling in love or already in love, something which, some hurt which you carry throughout your life is being deprived of your love. And therefore, though one of the characters did say, I have forgiven you long back, it's not like a Hindi story where the hero and villain run after each other to kill each other. But all the same, that feeling of hurt continued. And that somewhere reflected whenever their paths crossed. So there is no message as such. But if possible, try to avoid the hurt in the first place. Because if you hurt someone, it may last for the whole lifetime. It doesn't go away so easily. And then unnecessary fallout is there, competition is there, trying to pull each other's exit is there. So in young age itself, your youthful misadventures should be avoided. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Sir, in your entire book, you reflected on lot of shortcomings by showing 4 characters. And you have shown that how same system is used and misused by the people. So your heroes and your villains in your books. So in view of this, what are your expectations from budding lawyers, budding judges sitting over here, and budding prosecutors? Sorry.
See, when the script of the book was available to my colleagues, judges from other states, even Karnataka, they asked me, who are these characters? I said, Judge, you search for them in your own state and you find them. There are 3 types of persons. First is idealistic, who don't waver, come what may. There is the other group, who are opportunists. They would not lose any opportunity, come what may. So whenever there is an opportunity of exploiting someone or exploiting a situation, they would be first to do that. And there is a third group, which is opportunistic at times when there is no prospect of being caught, and idealistic at times when it is opportunist to show that they are ideal. And in between, that is between these 2 extremes, the middle group, it also allows itself to be swayed by its emotions, as one of the characters who had been hurt by his love being broken, pursued a path of revenge, tried to pursue a path of revenge. Therefore, for all of you, prospective judges, budding lawyers, and prosecutors, as he said, there's no message as such, but please remember that these human motivations, if you understand motivations of human beings, when they interact with each other, including when they commit crimes, then you can go nearer justice. May not be absolutely close to justice, but you can understand them, and then you can shape out remedies which are possible. If you don't understand motivation, which drives a person to act in a particular way, then I suppose the whole effort will be mechanical. And Professor, unfortunately, we are all on numbers, disposal of cases, how many numbers are disposed of. Our approach is day by day becoming more and more mechanical. We don't try to understand characters who are around us or characters who come up before us. In fact, for a judge, it's a great opportunity because the judge sees all sorts of persons from all professions, of all ages. And it's a great learning experience if you try to understand what motivated the person rather than just going for the end result. Therefore, my appeal to all of you is that if you are going to enter the profession, not sit in office of law firms or corporate sector, then please immerse yourself with the society. Try to understand the society in which you work. If you are going to work with corporates, drafting some meaningless contracts, well, that's also a life which some may like. But every day, when you are in court, no, every day some new drama unfolds before you, live things. You get paid for being actually entertained if you decide to. So therefore, immerse yourself in that work and then you enjoy it. Otherwise, it becomes a dull routine. One digression. Symbiosis does not have those professors, but I had some professors. So there was a great struggle for keeping awake in the lecture. So what we did is, because we have to immerse ourselves in something, no, not fall asleep. So we would count how many times the professor said, you see, you find, etc. And we would tell, say, Mr. Abhyankar, Professor Abhyankar is sitting there. So suppose he is my class fellow, I would look at him and say century. So this is how we kept ourselves awake. So you go to courts, and I have suggested to ma'am that when you take your students to the courts, what should be done? You find that not all dramatis personae are really interested in what is happening there. And occasions of somebody actually falling asleep are also there. I sat with a judge, did not snore, fortunately. So therefore, if you don't take interest in what is happening before you, you are not likely to understand the situations, understand the life. So please go to courts, enjoy, find out what is happening.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you have also written about the police and how police are using or misusing the power. In your experience as judge, how you have dealt with the police who are negligent and how you have ensured that justice is meted out to the victim?
First is, police use fear. They would even tell a judge that, well, if you don't go along with me, what will happen to you? Who is going to protect you? Now, whenever such thing happened, I told the person, Indira Gandhi had all the soldiers to protect her. She was assassinated. General Vaidya had protective guards with him. He was assassinated. Therefore, if something has to happen, it will happen. Once you let the policemen know that they can't browbeat you, and once you let them know that you don't want their favors, a policeman coming behind you always, okay. There is a character in the book, because a guard, what they call PSO, personal security officer, coming with the judge or his family members. Now, naturally, the hawkers, etc., are intimidated, no? So, the wife of the judge would have a good bargain. But once you decide to do away these bargains or these things, then there is no question of any policeman being able to browbeat you. And you can fearlessly sentence them without worrying about the consequences. Nothing happens. In fact, my request to all of you is also this. Whenever you are encountering a goon, so he shows a knife to you, what happens is we are afraid. And because we are afraid, we surrender. And these goons take advantage of our fear, in fact. If you decide to overpower him or fight, he also does not know what will happen. Maybe he will be killed, he will be injured. The only thing is that you have to show that courage, that no, I don't buckle under pressure. I will fight. And then, because ultimately it's the Almighty who will decide whether you are going to get injured or the other person is going to get injured. So fight out. Nothing to worry about policemen.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is about your chapter number 27, wherein you have written that Justice Vijay has done some investigation through the friends or juniors in order to find out the truth. But basically our system is adversarial system and judges will not involve in the investigation. In view of this, sir, do you think adopting a few features of inquisitorial system will help in smooth functioning of the sir, may I repeat? So in view of this, do you think adopting a few features of inquisitorial system wherein judges are participating in the investigation also would help in smooth delivery of justice?
Not
Where criminal law.
Yeah.
Evidence CRPC.
CPC also. Yeah. Professor has asked a question of law to an author who has written fiction. But this answer is not fictional. Okay. First is Vijay did the research when he was practicing as a lawyer. Okay. Not as a judge. So when you become lawyers, no, remember this, that don't take things for granted. If you do your own research, you can find out the truth. Had that advocate not done the research, those young persons would have gone in for at least 7 years. So therefore, it's your duty to unfold the truth. It's not judge alone who decides cases. Two advocates, both sides, and the judge. 3 brains are put together and then they decide a case. Guilty or not guilty. So therefore, this is a part of life, but which has been ignored. If you are paid on a per day basis, like those artists in a soap opera on TV, what is per day? So per day means it goes on extend. The trial goes on extending, just as those serials also go on extending. So you have to put your heart into it, and then you can find out what could have happened, what should have happened, and then you can put it across to the court. Therefore, first, this is not about adversarial or inquisitorial system. I have called for the books. I did not anticipate this question. I thought you would ask me about some events, dramatic events in the book. See, this talk about adversarial and inquisitorial system has been going on for a very long time. And since Professor Vibhuta is here, he will corroborate me on this. that there is no need to say that system is accusatorial or inquisitorial or adversarial. Our civil procedure code as well as criminal procedure code and the Evidence Act clothes the judge with enough power to go to the truth if the judge should so desire, judge or magistrate. How many of you have studied CRPC, completed study of CRPC? That is 4th, 5th year students? Yeah. Now, can a magistrate or a session judge not order production of documents? Can. Can the judge not order addition of witnesses, summoning of witnesses? Yes. Thank you. All that is there. Can the judge not add accused persons? He can. So therefore, what is the problem? And then this Evidence Act. Section 165. Judge's power to put questions or order production. This covers everything. It says to a party or a witness, relevant or irrelevant. So what more do judges want? If they want to reach truth, they have all the powers. On the civil side, there is a duty, not just court may, court shall examine the parties. Just find out how many judges are doing this, examining parties. If you are not doing this, who is to blame? Section 313 of the Code of Criminal Procedure.
Take the mic. Can I take the mic while you?
Now, this says, in every inquiry or trial, for the purpose of enabling the accused personally to explain any circumstances appearing in the evidence against him, the court may, at any stage, without previously warning the accused, put such questions as the court considers necessary. And at the end of the trial, of course, court shall. So what prevents you from putting the questions at that stage itself? And evidence does not necessarily mean oral evidence, no. There is an old judgment of Ramnarayan Moore, ignored by everyone. So, evidence means whatever is sought to be tendered at trial, no. So, what prevents judges from doing this? And forgive me, or the entire judiciary may forgive me for saying this. We have all the powers and we want more powers, but we don't want the duty to do justice. In the morning, I suppose, in the talking to Consumer Act students, the problem is there is no duty to do justice, no. We have the power. We may not. So once you perceive that it is your duty to do justice, which must come from within, it can't come from any act, enactment, etc. It comes from your oath. So, have I answered your question? There is no question of shifting to inquisitorial system. The system is flexible enough, capable enough of enabling judges to do justice should they desire to do so. Should they desire to close eyes, as is portrayed in the Western model of justice, that goddess of justice closed eyes? They have literally taken it that closed eyes. We don't want to look at anything unless you open my eyes like this. Keep your eyes and ears open. You can do justice if you want to.
Thank you, sir, for that enlightenment. And therefore, Justice.
No, but my question to all of you is this. Sorry, this is a breach of possibly the protocol. How many of you agree with me that there is enough power with the courts to do justice if they want to? Thank you. And how many of you believe that what is happening today is because courts do not have a duty to do justice, or they don't perceive it to be their duty? Yes. Now, we don't need a legislation for that. All that we need is your will. When you go to the court, as an advocate, you say that it's my duty to see that justice is done. If you sit as a judge, you say that it's my duty to do justice. Finished. Matter solved.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, even Justice Malimath and a lot of other people, experts have mentioned that we have mixed system. And we have additional power also under 226, that is call for record, which is hardly utilized by the High Court also. 142 power to deliver complete justice is utilized sometime. In this light, sir, do you think that our judges shall be trained differently to achieve the ultimate goal, that is delivery of justice? Whether there is problem in the their training, or there is a problem in the attitude, or there is problem in the system as such?
Professor York asked so many questions. In course of trials, no, when an advocate like you puts such questions and says the answer in yes or no, okay, the witness said to the advocate that, sir, you answer in yes or no. Have you stopped beating your wife? So this is a complex question. First, about Maghimat committee and its report. I have great respect for Justice Maghimat and the erudite report that he has produced. But I have a basic grievance. Ma'am, if I overshoot the time, it's okay. Okay. I have got a basic grievance with the system. And that grievance is that why do we look westwards for everything, every solution? Now, this Maghimat committee report and the aftermath of that, where civil procedure code has been amended and affidavits are allowed to be filed in lieu of examination in chief. What was examination in chief supposed to be? See the Evidence Act? No leading questions. No leading questions in examination in chief. That was with the object of testing the veracity. Now, when you allow a person to tender an affidavit, what happens? All that is prepared by the advocate is sworn as an affidavit and dumped at the court. And worst, copy-paste job, affidavits of 4 persons whosoever they are going to examine are dumped at the court in one go. Sometimes not in one go, by brilliant lawyers who want to detract or protract the trial. They say, no, I have not yet decided whether I am going to examine ma'am. It's good enough if I examine him. So today I am tendering only this affidavit. Now, after that, when he says that I am going to tender affidavit of ma'am also, she says that now I have received the copy of affidavit just now. So, give an adjournment, I have to prepare. So, trial which would have otherwise come to an end in one day, gets protracted over months, if not years. And this is about our speedy justice. We want to hasten the process of justice, but this is what we have done. So therefore, if you look westwards, you are going to falter. See, these courts were first drafted in India, for India, maybe by Britishers, but they were drafted in India. England did not have this type of act. They took from our experience. But now if we decide to make India 51st state of the United States, well, let's do it, no issue. But it's time to say that, please, western winds will stop at Sahyadri and not come beyond. Justice Bhagwat is, I'm sorry, digressing again. Justice Bhagwati in one of his judgments, Chief Justice Bhagwati in one of his judgments said that it's time that we should find Indian jurisprudence. We should have our own jurisprudence. What happened to that? In the very next judgment, he relied on Raigans versus Fletcher. Why? Use logic. It is India, Supreme Court of India. Write judgments which are logical, finished. Why do you need to invoke Sant Tukaram or Dhaneshwar? Baba Vakya Pramanam, why do you need it? So therefore, this is okay. They have done a lot of work. But that research is basically based on what other countries are doing and not what we should be doing to resolve our problems. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, last question from my side. One of the editors said that your book shall be converted into movie. Do you agree with this?
Who said this?
Forward.
Oh.
Forward.
Oh, Justice Chandru is my friend. Justice Chandru is my friend, and one of his trials has been translated into a movie called Jai Bhim. Okay. Therefore, out of love for me, he said that, brother, your book is also a movie story. Anyway, if some producer wants, he has surplus money and wants to dump his money in Indian Ocean or Arabian Sea, I have nothing to say. That's his choice. But then, this is not meant for making a movie. This is meant to move you. This is meant to move you into action. See, my earlier two books were Cries in Wilderness. Second was More Cries in Wilderness. Yeah, more cries because nobody heard my first cries. So second, more cries. But in spite of all this crying, since the authorities did not move, no change was visible, I decided that I would proceed to publish this, which I had started writing at the time of death of my friend. To tickle, at least not, I will not say harm the system, tickle or pinch the system so that the sleeping beauty wakes up. I will not call Kumbhakarna. The sleeping beauty, that is the judicial system, should wake up. Now, if after this tickle and pinches, the beauty does not wake up, then, yeah, please, ma'am. She is a poet, no, so therefore inspiration from her. So, the next line of action would be a big punch on the nose. I'm sorry, I should not be doing this. But I suppose because I love the system and because I see the decadence, the fall in standards, I think that the system will wake up. But if it doesn't, in the next book, it will be with names, citations, case law, everything, whatever is in public domain available now. Fortunately, Justice Chandrachud has made not just judgments of Supreme Court and High Courts available, judgments of all courts across the country are available. Therefore, there is a lot of material to analyze. Incidentally, did you read that Court on Trial? 3 authors have written that book. So therefore now, It's not me who is painting stones at the system. People have already started painting stones at the system. So I'm not the first one. So next will be a punch on the nose. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. That was the last question. Thank you so much for wonderful discussion and writing this book. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure the discussion was truly enlightful and a thought-provoking experience. I'm confident that all the participants attending physically and virtually have gained valuable insights and acquired significant knowledge from this session. I would now like to invite all the students to actively participate in a Q&A session with the esteemed author. This is your opportunity to ask any questions you may have directly to the author and delve deeper into the topics discussed. If anybody has a question, please raise your hand in your place and a volunteer will come with a mic.
Any question as in section 165 evidence? Regard or irregard?
Does anybody have any questions? You can raise your hand in your place. I would like to request all of you to also read the book as ma'am mentioned, and also available on online platforms for freely available to buy as well. Now I would like to invite Dr. Aprajita Mohanty, Deputy Director Academics of Symbiosis Law School, Pune, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you. On behalf of management of Symbiosis, Dean and Director, Dr. Sashikala Gurpur, I extend a warm vote of thanks to Justice Shri R.C. CHAVAN sir for graciously accepting our invitation to spend a day at our law school and actively contributing to the academic teaching learning environment over here. Sir, our students had the opportunity and advantage of partaking your wisdom today in form of guest lectures, for which we are very grateful to you. This event, discussion on the book, Yes, My Lord, It's You in the Mirror, has been the icing on the cake. The discussion has very aptly portrayed human nature and the varied motivations of human beings. The fiction weaved with legal nuances will ignite enough curiosity amongst the student community as well as the reader community who are devoted to read good books. I thank Dr. Gurpur for her passion for enhancing the learning of the students by incorporating innovating teaching learning pedagogies. Thank you, ma'am. I thank Dr. Shelke for seamlessly taking the discussion through wonderful and insightful set of questions. A sincere note of appreciation to our student of 4th year VA LLB honors, Sonal Jain. You have very nicely, your understanding of the book and articulation is praiseworthy. And it's also a validation of our efforts to enhance the creative and critical thinking skills of our students. Thank you so much. And I thank the faculty team for arranging the event and in a seamless manner. And I thank IT team and the students who have helped us in putting up the event. And last but not the least, I thank the faculty who have attended this online as well as offline. I thank all the guests. I thank sincere note of thanks to Schedule Sir, Shalini Madam, and all others dignitaries and our law fraternity who have attended this through online mode. And I thank the students for attending the session. Thank you, one and all. Very